God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. Level up. Level up. Yo. Everything that means everything. Eyes connected to everything, and that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Ooh, all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Things People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by God Level. That will be me. My name is Renee. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a mother. I'm a nurse. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt. I'm a GG. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I am a father who has 5 hip hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms: Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, Final Dimension, Light Benders, The Law of Affirmations, Conscious, Positive, Hip Hop. Y'all know we've been having some rough months with the music that's been out. Support your local artists. John
There you go.
Skywalker, look him up. John Skywalker, salute.
Salute. Ivy, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your girl Ivy, also known as Institute of Ivy on TikTok. I got about 46 of these doggone hamsters, and they be doing the most. I am on TikTok talking about inattentive ADHD, mental health issues. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, now residing in the wonderful state of Washington. Representing the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, and as always, I'm gonna keep it a buck. So let's go.
Let's go. Oh my
Let's
God.
go.
We have a couple people that's going to be running late, but we'll see them when they get here. This topic today was hit on by one of our people in our group chat. They was asking a question concerning co-parenting or step parenting, and how they can't stand their significant partner's child.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this came about. So so I thought, okay, what does good parenting look like for you? And this is for everyone, step parents as well, regular couples and even co-parenting. What does good parenting look like to you? I guess we can go ahead and start with that question. Ooh, parenting. Is there really a definition?
Yeah, of course.
There
It's a
really
thing.
a definition, because there is no books on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Man, come
False,
on, say that again,
false,
sis.
false, 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 false,
Okay,
false.
okay, there
Oh my
might
God.
be
Period.
books. There might be books, but the thing is that these
Books on
books
pregnancy.
ill prepare. Thank you. And there are also books that ill prepare you for having this little
Yeah,
breathing,
them the
shaking.
books. But where are the books on what you do after they come into this world?
Right.
No,
So
One, two, three,
listen,
four, five, six, seven,
there
eight,
is
nine, 10.
sociological and psychological literature out here. We can't say that no more, y'all. We
Okay.
cannot say that there's no book on. No, we there are plenty, and not only just from the perspectives of people's experiences, like personal experiences, but there are scientists out there
Mm,
that have studied this. There are parenting practices, there are parenting styles. Come on now, we are in this
okay.
age where
Mhm.
you have evidence-based parenting, but you have to do the work. Still, you still got to do the research, you still got to read. It's
Yeah.
just so here's the thing, there parenting is a skill, okay?
okay,
and
Okay.
okay,
and any skill can, after practice and analysis, any skill can be theorized. You can conceptualize the skill and make it generalizable to where you break it to, hey, this is what this comprises of, and this is what is involved in it. These are the variables. Okay, what can be improved upon? You can teach parenting, yo. You can teach that. So here's the thing. This is the age we're in now, okay? Some people get educated on parenting and some don't.
Some people don't.
And guess what? Most of us don't.
That's
a lot of us.
So this is the traditional way. You're self-taught. Like you gotta think 200 years ago, 6,000 years ago, was there a parenting right? Okay, but we are in an age now where scientific method, research that exists now. It wasn't back then. Now, and so this is the human experience. Of our experience, so we can evaluate
your mic. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
you're just going in and out. But while you're looking for the mic, I just want to touch on the fact that you said 6,000, 7,000 years ago. No, we did not have a manual, but we had a community.
Woo! Say that.
We had a community, and that community was insular. And because of the fact that that community was insular, we had the elders, we had the generation before us. And there was no way that was really outside of that was outside of that way of parenting. But the thing is that the elders knew if you had a child who was like, okay, I want to go this way outside of the community instead of going this way inside of the community, they had the forethought because of the fact that they have been doing it for so long, right? They had the forethought to be able to be like, this is expanded. This is my knowledge. I've seen a kid like this. We could listen to our elders. We trusted our elders, right? Because when we were in these insular communities, we were trying to survive, right? So we could teach our kids below us not only how to survive, and that was like the first thing, but we also taught them, once you have figured out how to survive, here is the way how to thrive. But in this new thing that we got today, there is no instruction book because instruction books.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there is a comprehensively, no. There is no comprehensive book, no. But there are books, plural, that touch on certain avenues of it.
All right,
so that's
what I'm saying. We'll take that.
So that's what I'm saying. Because you gotta really consider, why wouldn't there be books on it now? Why wouldn't there? There's been plenty of people that have had these experiences. I mean, shoot, we got folks writing romance novels about stuff that's just now happening now, right? Like you're just mimicking that, right? So why wouldn't there be a book on parenting? I mean, you got to start somewhere. It's not like it's hard to start. It's just no one wasn't doing it before.
No,
the knowledge base wasn't even built yet. The research, the data wasn't available yet. We were distracted with it. We had other priorities. So this is what happens when you're in a civilization that has evolved enough to say, okay, now let's conceptualize this concept, and let's distribute it. Let's allow other people to get programmed into this skill set, you know?
Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to defining, right?
Did you read that? Some of us of color, I think, are stuck on doing it on our own.
It's too.
I'm going to throw us out there, especially our Black women.
Girl,
65% of all head of houses are Black women. All of households, 65% of Black households are ran by Black women.
Come on, Mom. Come on.
Doing it by themselves.
That
was a great point, Miss Kathy. Thank you for that.
Yes, Lord. Let's go, because you already know. And I'm like, it's too early, but you already know what I'm getting ready to say. Because I'm about to stick right here in how do you define or describe parenting, right? Because you already know my thing is going to be, when we finally get there, is why is it that we are so stuck on parenting a certain type of way? And that's because sometimes sometimes we can't look at another way to parent because we get so stuck on who we are or who we've been defined as parents
Yep.
or what it is that our parents did that
Yep.
we're like, can I take
Yeah.
a look at this and see if maybe I could do something differently?
Yeah.
Yeah. But my definition for describing my parenting is an evolution of how to nurture these little shaking, you know, throwing up, pooping all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Wibbly ass babies when they come out because I ain't know what the hell to do. I mean, so it's just like parenting is I'm trying to nurture and make sure I don't kill this thing. You know what I'm saying? And that they grow up and don't need a whole bunch of therapy. Maybe just like 12 years of therapy instead of 45 years of therapy. That's my,
Ooh.
you know what I'm saying?
Ooh. I just had this conversation last night. I'm sorry. I just had this conversation last night, and we were talking about shame. Shaming your children. But we'll get back to that. I wanted to raise my children different than how I was raised. My mother wasn't a resource, so I make sure that I am a resource for my children. Certain things that I didn't get coming up as a child, I made sure to give to my children coming up. Number one, affection. Let me tell you I love you. Let me hold you. Let me squeeze you. Let me remind you, especially my girls, how beautiful you are. Especially being, after divorcing my husband and in a home by myself, raising my children. And no, I didn't want another man to come in there because I was scared for my daughters because of what I went through. So yeah, it gets deep. It gets deep. Who's that? Parenting like our parents, we turned out right. Oh, I,
So
so
we
we
follow
follow
what
what
we,
we know. Thank you, Crystal. Ooh, I'm sorry. I came up on that old school parenting and I turned out okay. When you say old school parenting, I had a lot of whoopings growing up.
do I need to take off my glasses for impact?
Do, please. I had a lot of whoopings growing up.
Man,
Well, shoot,
let's get into it.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So,
These comments are going crazy. Thank you. What is your
um,
stance on whoopings? Woo, we gonna go first.
before we address it, I just want to first acknowledge uh our participants for this question in the group. Okay, we got a things that people don't want to talk about group. You guys should go ahead and hit the join button on that. But for this question right here, we had hold on, stand so all right. So the options were effective, ineffective, effective under certain conditions, effective for certain children, unsure. Um, let's see. Oh, how do you go to the insights?
Ooh.
All right, we had 28 votes for that one.
Mm.
And most people said effective under certain conditions.
Effective under certain conditions. Yeah.
Whoopings are effective under certain conditions. We had more for that one. And then next in line was respondents. We had 8 say that it was ineffective. Whoopings are ineffective. We have 6 that says effective for certain children. And 1 said effective. Only 1 said effective. All right.
Mm.
Stance.
Mm.
You want to
Ivy,
go first?
go ahead.
Okay.
We've had this. Yeah.
We've had this conversation. By the way, Big
Yeah.
Sean, that's my brother. Like
Big
my
Sean,
brother.
he said
Yeah.
my mama tore my ass up. Hey man, I'm with you.
Right. We had same dad,
I
different fathers, but yeah, I mean different mothers, but yeah. So he is telling the truth. My mama told my ass up too, right?
And Kathy said I had my butt handed to me,
Ooh.
but I also know my mom, hold on, did not know better. We do what we know. Woo! Say that.
Because that's my evolution. And that's the reason why I said that for me, parenting has been an evolution. Okay, so coming from, and I always, for anybody who knows me, I talk about my daddy, John Robert, right? Coming from a John Robert standpoint, he was very in the church. He was very narrow minded. He was very much of it, like he was all about whipping the kid's ass. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have any other tools. He had no other tools to deal with that, right? Right. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's the only way that he responded to it. So I thought that when my kids were born, I had to whip them too. Then, and I'm going to be completely and totally honest. I whipped my youngest child at the time. He was like 7 years old, and I saw that I left a whelp on him, and I said I will never touch my kids again,
Yeah.
right? Because I was like, that's just wrong. So then I was like, okay. I went to smokings, and anybody who's been in boot camp or they went to the
Oh,
military or anything like that, I would give my kids a full out smoking. I'm talking drill sergeant, front, back, go. And if anybody was in the military, they know what that brings up some trauma. Then
Mm.
then I found out that me and my kids were neurodivergent. And the things that I was punishing them for was stuff that they couldn't control. And I was like, what effective learning what are they getting from that? What are they receiving from that? Right? So then I had to change my whole entire parenting style. And that's what I got now. I'm sorry, that was my stance. Okay, y'all can go.
I heard this a lot growing up, and I know y'all. This is going to hit home for a lot of you all. S- Spare the rod, spoil the child, spare the rod, or spare the rod, spoil the
The
child.
child.
That church, oh, whoop them. I swear, my mother whooped us so much. Sometimes we knew it. We knew it walking in the door what was getting ready to happen with us, with these whoopings. But sometimes I think that she was just taking out her anger because she didn't know how to be a good parent because she had us at a very early age. She had me when she was 16. What did she know at that age about being a mother? She didn't.
She knew what she saw,
She
and that
knew
was
what she
it.
saw. But hold on, from what I'm hearing growing up is that she got one whooping by my grandmother, and that was it. So how did we get all these beatings all our life? All my life, I had to get a whooping,
I had to.
and you only got one growing up.
Oh
How?
my gosh,
Girl, if my sisters and brothers
girl.
was listening to this right now on my mother's side, they will tell you, yeah, she didn't play. The first three, nah, baby. Am I a
but
better
hey,
person because of it? I, I think maybe we could have sat down and talked during before moving or escalating to that point. You know, she was do as I say, not as I do type of parent.
mm.
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. Go ahead.
All right, real quick. King Newborn, introduce yourself.
Peace. Peace. This King Newborn. Follow me on all social media platforms. And as always, I am of service and I am that I am. Therefore, I am. Peace.
Peace.
All right, so King Newborn, question right there.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Um, what question? Oh, never mind. I see it now. You're asking me what's my stance on that.
Yes, sir.
That's a little bright there. There we go. See now it's better. My stance on that, there's a difference between no, let me just answer the question. What's my stance on whippings? I agree. It depends on I'm not gonna say it depends. I agree. I agree for whippings.
Okay.
Um not beatings and not abuse.
Ooh. Mm. There's a
Most of the
difference.
It's a huge difference. Most of the things in life you get reprimanded for and you never look at it as whooping. It takes place to get you in order. It's a great
Mm.
stimuli. It's the quickest thing to make you react to an understanding. That's all. It's just to get you to react to an understanding so that way you can clearly see, don't you do that.
Mm.
Don't you do that. Followed by a little attention, love, care, and a conversation to help said person or child to come to an understanding.
Yeah.
The brain is still trying to seek out information, and this is another way of receiving or transmitting information.
Mm,
If you do it beyond the point of a strike,
mm-hmm.
then that would be considered a beating or abuse. And if you never give any proper instructions to why said reprimand came into place, then I mean you're just taking your frustration out on said person or child for them not doing as I say, not as I do. So there's a difference. Once again, shout out to Skywalker. This helps all individuals and parents understand accountability.
Mm, mm, mm.
Accountability.
Whoa.
I see
Love
it
it.
is cracking up because, yeah,
Yeah, this is good. This is
That's our
yeah.
good.
jam. That's our
Man,
jam.
right. What's our next question? I'm curious to what mm,
All right.
the op- oh, go ahead.
So this one only got 2 votes, right? This one only got 2 votes. But the options were: I aim to be the best parent I can be. I aim to be a better parent than my parents were. I aim to be the parent my children or child needs. I aim to be the parent that other parents emulate. Those were the
Mm,
Mm.
options.
wow. Who want to go first?
No, get into it, Renee. God
I, I,
level, get
I already
into it.
I already said it. I wanted to be different than my mother.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When it
Be
came
better
to
than your parent.
raising my children. I looked at my childhood and was like, okay, was I lacking that I needed? I need to make sure that I give that to my children. You
Hmm.
know, let's sit down and talk. The love. But did they used to get whoopings? Yes, they did. And did it help? No, it didn't. No, it did not help. The last whooping I gave my oldest daughter, she was 16. That was the last time I
Mm.
touched her.
Yeah.
That was the last time I touched her. My youngest daughter in there, I can't do it. You know what? Let's sit down and talk about it before we even before I feel like I have to get physical because you can if you're already frustrated with life and with everything that's going on, you can easily take that out on your child and
Yes,
disguise that as a whooping.
Mm.
yes. And what
So
for?
and you got to be careful when you do that. You know, we've trust me, we've talked about this. My oldest two say that I'm soft. You know what? When it comes to my baby girl, I just learned that how I was raising you wasn't it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't it. So let's sit down and have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's have a family meeting. You know, we can all discuss this. I have an open door policy. Say how you feel. I don't want you walking around carrying anything on you. Get it out.
Hmm.
If you felt like I've done something wrong when raising you, tell me about it now. Let's talk about it. Get it off your
Mm.
Yep.
chest. Let me sit. Let me listen. Let me apologize.
Yep.
And a
Yep.
lot of black folks don't believe in apologizing to their kids. You should.
Man, listen,
You
let's
should.
talk about the oh girl. Oh, are we ready? Are we
You
ready? Because
should.
are we seriously ready?
Because you wasn't doing it right. You owe them an apology for not knowing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I just want to read what Maggie May said because this is thank you, Maggie, by the way. Hi, Maggie. She works in life skills for children with severe disabilities, and from that, she learned that she needs to be the parent that her kids need, not coddling, just working through things with them. And the same that's my answer right there because I learned like later on learning about neurodivergency and learning that everybody in my house had a different flavor of neurodivergency. I see how I didn't do my kids a service, right? Like I did them a disservice by, like, seriously, like when they were first coming up, because I didn't know what autism was. I didn't know what ADHD was. I didn't know what ADHD was. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. So I had to temper what my kids needed, like, and what they need as young adults, and then my youngest, like what she needs too. Yeah, being unlike my parents, who, I mean, my father still won't apologize for any. I mean, he can't apologize for something that he won't even recognize, which is something. Let's talk about that, because that's something that black parents, and my black parents particularly, had an issue with, is recognizing the damage that they had done. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't apologize for something if you can't recognize the reality of the damage that you've done. I'm gonna leave
Because
that
in
there.
that moment they are doing what they think is right, and what they know, and what they've already been through, and what they've already witnessed, what they've already seen,
Come on,
they've
girl.
already experienced.
Come on,
And just
ma.
passing that BS down generation after generation, when sometimes all it takes is just a conversation.
Come on, man.
You know, don't tell them to go in there. Don't eat the cookie. Tell them why you don't want them to eat the cookie. I don't want you to eat the cookie because I don't want you to spoil your appetite before dinner. You don't need all that sugar.
Come on, man. Come on.
Just saying, I don't want you to do this. Back it up with an explanation as to why. Help them understand why you don't want them to do a certain thing. I'm gonna leave it alone now.
We're gonna come
All
back
right.
to it. Go ahead.
So King Newborn, your response.
Get him, John. Get him, baby.
What kind of parent? What kind of parent do you aim to be out of those four? Unless, I mean, now you can remix it. If you got something other, then
You good?
Well, first and foremost,
nope, 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 nope. Answer the question, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
He said we dipping this in the butt right now.
Look. The knife is at the throat.
Oh, the knife at the throat. Oh,
Like just go ahead and just like right
well,
there. Just
that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna ask you a question. I just started off by saying first and foremost. So I'm gonna say first and foremost, yes, be the parent that your child needs you to be.
yeah.
okay.
That's key. And by doing that, you're going into parenting for that child blindly, because you're not going to know everything up front. That takes time. You're learning. I hate to say this word. Well, no, I ain't gonna use that word. You're learning an unknown.
Mhm.
Period. You're learning an unknown. There's no book for that. You're dealing with a spirit first and foremost that's in flesh. So that spirit could be ruly or unruly. You really don't know. Just like Miss Tanner pointed out, until you get to the point to your children are tested to some degree about something, you're just going into it blindly, hoping that your love for that child, your attention to that child, attending to their needs and things, that you're cultivating them in the right direction due to your experiences as a child growing up. Now, you may have a rough childhood. Doesn't necessarily mean that your child is going to have a rough childhood. A lot of us try to escape childhood trauma, and we're protecting our children from certain lessons that they need to have. That's
That part.
that's key in society. Not saying your childhood was completely bad, but if you're at the point where you understand what you went through as a child, if you can bring it to an understanding, the fact that your parents didn't know it all, they didn't have it all together, that could be a tool to help you out. That could be a tool to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that, or I might take a little piece of that and apply it. So really, Miss Tanner.
Bars. Yes. because as he was talking, he said something to me a long time ago that literally stuck with me. He said, "If
Mhm.
you can walk away with any situation with understanding, you're winning."
Yeah,
I will
facts.
Oh, I like that.
never, I will never forget that. And that was years ago in the barber shop. Go ahead, go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, but you gotta have understanding. I mean, we talked about that. So, but
Mhm.
eh, there's no wrong or right way. Period. Because regardless of what you do, your child will find something,
Yes.
depending on the era in which they're growing up in. Technology changes,
Man,
information
come on.
changes. So the way
Man,
you may think, all right, I did the best that you're right. You did do the best that you could, and you're not wrong for that.
okay.
And I can also say, which is peace, you're not right either.
Mm,
Come on.
mm.
Come on.
Oh,
That
and
part.
by the way, this is the the king newborn of accountability. I
Yes.
work on self. I work on self. So there's a lot of errors that I have spoken to my children. I said I apologize for the lack thereof, or due to the fact I didn't know. Period. Due
I
to the
love
Wow.
fact that certain
Yeah.
decisions that I made them vicariously through the fact I was dealing with emotions, feelings, or some understanding or no understanding at all. Some
it.
knowledge or no knowledge at all. So even as they get older, I don't have a problem saying that. And I'm not
Man, Meg,
even looking to be liked about it.
all about accountability.
That's it. I just want to be held accountable.
Man.
Hopefully we be able to
I
build,
love it.
continue to build and grow forward, developing a great relationship. And I want to apologize. I was a little late, a little tardy. I have to put that out there. That's me being accountable. That's all. Peace to the family. Peace to the panel. So,
Peace.
yeah, it's okay to apologize.
It
It's even
really
okay
is.
to say, "Hey, I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
because some chances are you didn't know. That's all it
You
is.
didn't.
You just
Yeah.
didn't know, and that's
That's
okay.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just didn't know.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that, man.
That's
Ooh.
Yeah,
what's.
that's real. You know, something you learn different, or you learn. But I won't even say necessarily learn better. You
Maggie.
learn different, and when
Hmm.
you learn different, you do differently. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And
Yeah.
and the part is about taking accountability, taking accountability. Sometimes I learned it's not necessarily accountable. You're not necessarily taking accountability while saying like all the time apologizing. Like I when I first, okay, so y'all know I'm an open book, and I talked about when I had to go away, right? I had to go away for a little bit to get my emotions and things, under control, right? I had to learn some things. And when I learned in there, I not only learned that it was necessary to say, I'm sorry, it's sometimes even necessary to my kids. I tell them, thank you for letting me be your parent, especially in a
Mm.
time where I wasn't at my best self. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for understanding and for holding space for something that you shouldn't have necessarily had to hold space for, but
Mm.
thank you for doing that anyway. You know, thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking care of me when you weren't supposed to. So I just wanted to. Sometimes it's about thanking your kids too for being able to say that I'm an adult and I didn't necessarily have my adult going on. You know what I'm saying?
Big
Just
facts.
putting it out there.
Big
Yeah.
facts. Just to add to your wisdom, that's very important. Um, appreciation go all the way across the board.
Yes, it
Appreciation
does.
go all the way across the board. I mean, I don't know anybody's religious background or if you're spiritual or not, but just understand and know that you was chosen. And I'm
Mm.
saying, parent, the parent
Come
was
on,
chosen.
man. Come
I mean,
on.
if you think about the whole entire conception of how children come into this world, yeah,
That's
I
so
mean,
true.
man, come on,
Sorry,
man.
Reed. That's my boo
Yeah,
Heather. She said
yeah,
when
yeah,
we
yeah,
had
yeah,
kids
yeah.
young, we literally grew up with kids also, and we both learned along the way. That is so true, man.
Big facts, big facts.
So true. Oh, Maggie, man, I can't. I will cry because I like to play like I'm gangster on TV, but I'm really not.
Mm.
Thanks, boo. I
Mm.
appreciate it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what's up.
in terms of the type I aim to be, I think for me it's the best that I can be. And
Mm.
I'm looking at it from my experience, I look at parenting now as a career, right? At first,
Mm.
it was at first I used to just look at parenting as just a thing you do, but the more engulfed in it I became, and I'm more vested in the outcomes, right? Like I want to see and feel good about this experience. After a while, it's like, man, this suffering ain't it. Something got to change. I need to be more efficient here because this is uncomfortable. And you become vested and trying to give the best in this situation. And I understand being the best that I can be is it might seem kind of self-centered, but it's designed to be that way because I'm being the best that I can be for my son, for my youngest, and it doesn't even have to be just within parenting. Because for me now, when I'm interacting with kids, it's kind of hard to turn it off. So even though the relationship is different, the mindset, the mind frame is the same. I'm looking at it as in, how can I be of service to you? You here, you trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm here to help. Like I can show you the way. You just where you trying to go. So that's how I'm looking at parenting, as in, how can I best provide direction or opportunity for them to grow and do whatever it is that they have to do. And you start to see, like, again, you hate it at first because you really didn't want to do this and you had some, unhealed wounds, but you're looking at it from your eyes. I'm interacting with this child. I am. And I have to do something with this child. I have to live this life with this child. I got to figure this out. How we going to make this work? How
Mm.
many
Facts.
years? Like
Facts.
we kind of
Mm.
stuck together. Okay, how are we going to make this work?
Yeah.
And so you start to, again, your mindset, is it healthy? All right, cool. Hey man, I ain't trying to hurt you, you ain't trying to hurt me, so let's get that established now.
Yeah.
you know it's basic conversations, right? It's basic conversations that are not being had. They're not being had in our parenting experiences. No, we're just doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm.
this is why I'm saying, like, we are now in the age where we're trying to turn this into like more of an art or a science now. Before we was just
Mhm.
winging it. We was just like, all right, feed the thing, talk to it, love on it, kiss on it.
Ah,
It's not to say that children were not cared for, but also the history shows that, woo,
let's keep that a buck. Kids
woo,
are not taking. How,
catastrophic.
come on,
Okay.
man. Especially in the Black community. How far are we removed from being in survival mode?
Not very far.
So were we really
Not very far.
caring? I mean, how was we really caring for kids? I mean, we'd be able, what you say, feed the thing, put a roof over the head, clothe
Put some
it.
clothes on the back, clothe it. All right.
Yeah.
What you depressed about? You got a roof over your head, you eating,
Yeah.
you got clothes. What you depressed about?
The objectification, right?
Come
This is
on.
a thing, and
Mm.
it's
Oh,
It's
like
more
it's
than
a
just
life,
that.
but yeah, because you're numb, you got your own thing going on. So anyways, in summary, type of parent, I want to be the best that I can be, and that's with each individual child, but also just for myself. I want to feel good about this, that with this activity, good things are happening. I want to see the goodness in the world. And so I'm like, hey, I got to interact with these kids. I need to see the goodness in the kids too. So that's the main, thing. All right. So let's transition into the next one.
uh-oh. I'm almost afraid.
Yeah.
Now his
It's all
questions be on
healthy. It's
point.
all healthy. It's all healthy. It's all healthy.
Ooh. I'm gonna go. I'm putting myself on
No.
mute for this
Well,
one. I'm
no,
putting myself on.
that is
I'm,
definitely not true. I
Mm,
believe bad children are the product of bad parenting. No, because a lot of I know I'm probably about to go all the way out there. A lot of serial killers grew up with both parents.
good parents, right? Right. Whew, whew.
They grew up with both parents, but was
Both.
both parents good parents?
Mm.
that's almost like saying what makes a good parent.
Hmm.
That's a good
Come on.
question.
So are you, you know, say situation, not having the entire picture, information all across the board, you know, you never know. You might have
Yeah.
two parents that don't even want to be there. Everybody
Mm,
passing the buck, like you said, keep it a buck. Well,
that's
I'm
so
finna go
true.
to I'm finna go. Well, I did yes. Hmm?
Okay.
But we here for the child. They got a roof over their head and on and on now. Sit down now.
You
You
know,
busy? Go ask your mama.
l-
Go ask your daddy.
Mm.
Not properly receiving love or attention. You're gonna go get that attention somewhere.
man, because let's go ahead and keep that a buck.
Yeah.
Both of the parents at
Because
work all the
that part,
time.
and not only that, both of the parents dealing with things such as being overworkers or being people who are like, they want to come home and they don't know how to deal with their own stress. So what do? They go into a video game, or what do they, and they play that all night and they completely disregard the children. Or let's go ahead and say that people come home and they don't know how to deal with their stuff, so they don't communicate, or they're not able to nurture themselves. How are you going to nurture a child? You can't even nurture yourself. You can't nurture what's on the inside. So they're watching TV all day because of the fact that they can't connect with their kids.
Or
It,
let's throw this out here. I want
I'm
to
putting
add to your
myself on mute.
wisdom. No. I want to add this too. What if the both of the parents are overachievers?
You know what? I'm just going to turn off my. I'm just going to.
Let's think
That's
about
leaving
that.
the child to raise themselves.
Overachiever. You at work, I'm at work. You chasing the masters, I'm chasing the master. We just
And that's
started a
leaving the
business.
child to
Out
raise
of out of
themselves.
24 hours, we only at the crib, maybe 3.5, and we still got to get 8 hours of sleep. Hello.
Mm. So
Hmm?
you're throwing your child
Hmm?
all the technical
All the
gadgets and
trinkets, all the
trinket
attachments.
just to keep that child quiet. Give that child all
Here
of
go
this.
250. Go ahead, go sit
Ooh,
down somewhere. I gotta
yeah,
finish this.
please.
I
I
got a
gotta finish. Yeah.
dissertation in the morning. Huh? Come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Woo,
Come
Just,
on,
just
bro.
boy,
woo.
just because in your mind you think you're doing what's right, you live in the I you know I don't even want to say suburbs. I ain't even gonna say that.
Go ahead,
Let's
say
just
suburbs. What's wrong with it? Let's
let's
say
just say you
suburbs.
get to experience a fully
Thank you,
fledged
Moesha.
backyard with curbs outside. Let's say you get to
Mm,
experience that with a
mm,
driveway, with a
mm.
2 to 3 car
With a
garage.
German, with a
Garage.
German Shepherd in
Right.
the back. German
Come
Shepherd,
on,
a couple
man.
trees in the
Come
front.
on. All right, man.
Come on. Come on.
Let's say you don't even understand what fast food really is. Now I ain't I'm gonna leave it alone.
But my thing is that does that even matter? My thing is that sometimes when you are giving your kid what that kid needs, does it have to look like everybody else's?
But
You
sometimes we
know?
overcompensate on the need because of
Come
lack
on.
thereof that we didn't receive.
I did that. I did that.
Yeah, he
I
got a
I
have to
bike.
overcompensated
Check it
because
out. He got a
father was
bike,
not there.
but he got an electric bike.
Ooh, oh, there's my niece. More is caught than taught.
Bars, bars,
More
bars.
is caught than taught. Man, Mimi, you better tell him something. Cause that's it. I know people who have grown up in the hood who
Hmm.
had those parents who were like, we're gonna do this with our kids, or we're gonna do something different with our kids, and have grown up completely and totally healthy and ready to go out into the world. It's not
Yeah.
so much as what you had, it's the love that was in the household, it's those connections.
Yeah.
It's those connections,
Yeah.
you know? And I know some people who grew up in multi-million dollar houses. People or CEOs and CFOs and all kinds of stuff, and are paying all of that CEO and CFO money to have their kid through 3, 4 different modalities of therapy because they are feeling like they didn't get a hug when they was coming up. You know what I'm saying? Or they out there robbing, stealing, and shooting up you know what I'm saying, and doing all kinds of stuff because they didn't get what they needed.
Huh, a
Hmm.
whooping. Okay.
I
Wait a minute.
can't.
Hold on. I mean, if we really want to talk about parenting, you have kids that do commit certain crimes. never served time. Why? Oh, because he never experienced certain things like this, and he come from a wealthy family. And wait, what?
Oh,
Hmm?
because
Hmm?
they keep him from
Hmm?
accountability.
Hmm?
Who said it? Who
Hmm?
said it?
Hmm? That dollar go far sometimes. Then
Mm,
sometimes it's who you know.
mm.
I'm gonna put myself on mute while you give some
Go
examples.
ahead. I'm looking forward to this next question. Go ahead, John.
I like that part right there. It says, "I see meltdowns daily with screen time."
What
Yeah,
does she mean by that? Meltdowns
man.
daily with screen time when you turn off the computer?
You turn
The
off the
phone?
computer or phone, or you can be screen timing your child. All right,
Man,
now I need you to go in that kitchen, boil that water. So when hey man, I ain't number 6. I got things to do today. Don't you?
yeah. I'm
Jason, they just asked me to come outside. We what? You want me to what?
hey,
Sir, lady, ma'am, dad. You serious? I'm on level
oh my
19.
gosh.
I'm gonna get back with
Okay,
you.
I'm a
I'm gonna go
26.
ahead and answer that. I used to be what's how John pronounce it for me? Authoritarian.
Oh,
Okay.
off. Oh my God. Okay,
I
okay. Stop. Stop. Stop.
thank you.
Stop. Wait, wait. Authoritarian.
Say it
Authoritarian.
again one more time.
Authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
That was me.
Authoritarian.
I'm I'm
Okay.
I'm 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 I think I'm a level down now. With my first two, I was that. Now with my baby girl, I'm down.
Facts.
Yeah.
Same thing. Adults can't even have accountability, so why
Yeah.
would the kids? And I'm going on mute.
Oh my God.
All right.
Moesha, thank you for your comment. Oof.
It's Miosha. I just
All
call her
right.
Mimi. That's
So
my
just
niece.
to,
I'm
so
sorry, guys.
just to
Oh,
clarify,
okay.
there are 4 options, audience members. There's
Thank you.
authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. So I'm gonna give a brief description of each. Authoritative. Oh, come on now. Okay, authoritative. This style involves setting clear rules and expectations while also being responsive and nurturing. It's also about finding a balance between warmth and discipline, encouraging independence while maintaining a supportive environment. All right.
Yes.
Authoritative. All right. Permissive. Characterized by being very lenient, indulgent, with few demands, higher responsiveness. While it can foster a warm and loving relationship, it sometimes lacks structure and consistent discipline. So, yeah, think permissive, like, okay, you're catering, right? You're doing a whole lot of catering. No rules, no structure, no discipline. Authoritarian is strict and demanding with a focus on obedience and control. Rules are set without much room for discussion, which can lead to a lack of autonomy and potentially strained parent child relationships. Woo! Okay,
Yeah.
Black community. And then there's uninvolved. Parenting is characterized by low levels of responsiveness and demandingness. Parents may be detached and disengaged, providing little emotional support or guidance, which can impact a child's emotional well being and development. So, even though uninvolved may sound like you're, physically not present,
Mm-hmm.
it can involve the physical presence, but you're not
Wow.
actually involved. Like, you're just here. You're a
It's
piece of
just there.
furniture in the house. You don't interact. Like, yo, don't talk to me. Don't
Mm-hmm.
talk to me. I pay the bills around here. Don't talk to me. I'm doing my part to make sure you actually exist. Don't talk to me. That's uninvolved.
Right.
Let's also look at that from chronic illness, mental illness, addiction, because those are three
Mm.
other things that kind of wrap themselves around uninvolvedness. As somebody who has a chronic illness, there have been times where I have been detached, right? And when I was super, super, super depressed, which my oldest kids went through for the majority of the time, and I did not want to recognize it. I was a little bit of that way during part of the time, and I didn't recognize it as much. And then I came out of that and got help. And then I started to realize that like where that put my kids. I just want to put that out there because y'all know I'm good for telling on myself. I don't have an issue with it because I'm better. I get better. I grow.
Yeah, I think all black parents need to step in a therapy room, get a couple
Hmm.
therapy sessions,
Come on,
because
man.
we know that mental health runs rapid in our community and definitely is going to play a big part on their parenting skills, their
Now,
parenting
I do want to
style.
highlight something. It's more of a theory, right? It's more
Okay.
of a theory, just a consideration in terms of the prevalence of
Mm-mm.
authoritarian parenting in the black community.
Mm.
Mm.
I want us to consider, right, what that looks like when it's authoritarian. It's very strict, oppressive. Why wouldn't your oppression seep into your parenting? The way that you're being treated by the outside world is
Come.
impacting how you're relating to your child. So you're being oppressed, you're going to oppress your child
Y'all ready for that? Y'all ready?
because an authoritative parent is democratic. So that means you have a little bit more freedom in mind, in terms of your lifestyle. You got a little bit more freedom.
Are y'all ready for that?
Um, um,
Y'all ready for that?
oh my
You,
God.
do we want to talk about where it comes from? I'm sorry. I'll leave it on. I'll put myself on mute.
No,
I'm
no,
going
no,
back
no,
on
no,
mute.
no, 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 no. Ivy, spit that shit out.
Listen. Oh my. We're talking Jim Crow, right? Where you literally had to do what your parents said, or you would die, right? Let's talk about the Reconstruction era, where if you did not do what your parents said, you were going to die and possibly get your entire family, maybe even your entire community
Mhm.
blown up, razed to the ground, put on fire. Do we need to talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma? Parenting and generational trauma came out of that. Yes, if you are a black parent, you need to be in those therapy rooms because we are not even how many generations outside of survival. We're not outside of survival. We don't know
Mhm.
how to thrive and nurture because we are still trying to bring our nerves down to understand how to not. I can't. I'm going back on mute.
So King Newborn, um, how would you
Oh Lord,
classify
here we
your
go.
parenting style? How would you classify your parenting style out of the four?
What was the first one?
You have authoritative, authoritarian, you
What
have
was the
permissive,
definition for authoritative?
authoritative. So that one is more democratic, right? You set, clear rules, expectations, boundaries, but you're also responsive and you're nurturing. It's about finding balance between warmth and discipline. You're encouraging independence while maintaining a supportive environment. That's
Okay, then
authoritative.
what was the third one?
The third one, let's see, you had authoritarian. That one,
Mm-mm. The one with
permissive.
permissive. What's that one?
Oh, that's about being lenient, being easygoing, very indulgent. You don't have any demands. You're very responsive to your child's whims. Can foster a lot of warmth, love, but lack structure, discipline.
I'm 1 and 4.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
And four, four forced me to reconsider all my old decision making.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just as being a parent, also being an individual to myself. So I think a young lady said it earlier. Um, Miss Moesha. Let me see if I can find it.
Mm,
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
okay, being the
So
parent
just for the
we
so that
that was Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
oh sir, yeah, sir, I'm sorry. Reason why I say that, both of my parents are deceased. So after five, you know, it really don't matter who is considered to be your legal guardian or who is put in that position to somewhat pass down, rules, regulations, structure, guidelines. It's nothing like having your parents. It's nothing like having your parents. So a lot of the things that I was doing as a parent, I was pressing the issue that, well, you have your father, he is alive. You have your mother, she is alive. And I was building off of that. And the whole entire time I'm steady looking at me, but dang, I'm here. I'm right here. But true enough, consequences of certain decisions that was made during the time of misunderstanding, not having great communication, being able to express yourself, you tend to destroy the very fabric of what you need to be involved in a child's life. And I created my own victimhood in that.
Mm.
But over the past years, it don't sit well with me. So I fight against that old version of me, only to allow the new version of me to be erected in any and everything that I do. Not being able to be effectively as I would like to be as a parent to my child, it also destroys future relationships. So having those things to be unresolved from, like I say, old decision making, you got to get in front of that.
Thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that, King
Whoa.
Boy.
Yeah.
Um, at this stage of my life, it's not even a vulnerability.
Mm.
It's course correct
Okay.
and holding myself accountable. The only person that can deal with my past is me and my mental. That's it. Nobody else. So
I
as you
love you.
leave me, at a certain time period, know and understand, you know that person of that time period, that era.
Mm.
You don't know who I've become. You don't know what
Mm.
I've been through. You don't know what I had to endure to even get to the point to even say I fucked up.
Mm. Mm.
I love
Period.
that. I love that. I was just talking about this last night with a good friend on how sometimes we go through things as a child and we carry that shit into our adulthood with like a badge of honor and refuse
Yes.
to change until
Yes.
it's too fucking late. I
Yes.
applaud you, baby. I clap for you right here, right now, taking accountability. I love you for that.
That's
Yes.
peace. But God
Man,
love you,
you
you know,
just
for a simple fact. I don't I don't I don't open my mouth. I don't put myself in the fire for that type of celebration. I do it because it's what's supposed to be done. Period.
right.
And just for the record, shout out to Peyton Newborn. I appreciate you taking my text message and phone call. I love you.
Hey, me Pooh. Oh my God.
Man.
Let that breathe.
Man.
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you to everyone who has chimed in tonight and left a comment. We appreciate you all. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We are here every Tuesday. Things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. Don't forget to go on YouTube and click that like, subscribe, and share button. Let- Let's get this information out here. Like my girl, home girl, Ivy said, we are giving back, which has been lost.
Yeah. Ooh,
Mm.
hold on.
Woo.
Hold on. Okay, so my friend Maggie May just asked. Can I bring this up?
Go right ahead.
Okay. This question, my twins are brown, living in North Idaho, and no one even thinking about it. Matthew is a big boy. Kennedy really doesn't look Puerto Rican. Do I need to have the talk? So can I hope y'all don't mind if I take a second to share, right? Uh so my boys are 20 and 23.
Mm.
They are both large African American males. And me and Maggie were both in the military together. We were both in the army together. And uh, I remember when me and her had the talk about how every Black parent has the what do you do when you are confronted by the police talk? You know, Black, we have it, period. We have it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a part of parenting. It might be parenting out of fear. And I think that Kathy was the one who said that we parent out of fear. Yeah, we have to at sometimes. Because I had to have that talk with my 12 and I think they were 13 and 10-year-old boys when Trayvon Martin came up, and they were bigger than 10 and 13. And I was like, look, what do you do if you get approached by the police? Especially, no, not even if it's dark. What do you do if you get approached by the police? You put your hands up. You ask the officer, what am I being accosted for? Like, we had to have that talk. First, assume a position of, I need to de-escalate whatever this is. We were living in North Carolina at the time. And I don't, if you were ever from the South or you were close to the South, you know how the South can be. You know what I'm saying? So we had to have that talk. And I'm going to say to you, Maggie, I can't. What, you know something? I love Maggie for this. What do you guys think? Talking about Black parenting, brown parenting, do you think that is something that needs to be approached?
Needs to be talked about?
Needs to be talked about when you have a parent that is dealing who is not the full race of their kids. Mm-hmm. Like, do you have a responsibility if you got kids? If you are a white parent, do you have a responsibility to have that talk with them? Because I know what my answer is. And if you're in the comments, if you're watching, what do you think?
Yes.
And they gonna be 18 soon.
Yes. We have two men in here.
Come on, newborn. Come on, because he just got the heavy breathe on. Which she said, peace, 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 and then let it flow. John is like, wait, both of them. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Because it's a touchy subject, but it's a conversation that needs to be had when you are raising a brown and Black male child in the home. I've had to pull up on my son being pulled over by the police officer, and I sat across from him from the window on the side of the car, and I told him, keep your hands on the steering wheel. The first guy looks cool, but that second guy got his hands on the gun.
Come on.
You don't know how the officer's state of mind is. So yes, you have to have that conversation to keep them safe. You don't want to make any sudden movements. You don't want to give them an opportunity to mistake anything for anything, or to feel like that their life, and they'll use, oh, I was in fear of my life, but you're the one with the gun. So, but anyway, you gotta have that conversation with them. And yes, when they get pulled over, turn on all the lights in the car, put your hands on the steering wheel, look straight forward, have that window already down when they come up to that car. You gotta have that conversation with them. Go ahead.
I just want to add to this. I just want to add to that. That's Black and brown parenting. So how is it that we're not in therapy? Go ahead. Go ahead,
Mm,
fellas. I just want to add that.
okay, I'm done. I'm done with that. Go ahead. They not saying anything. I don't know. I don't know. Mm.
I'm looking at the
Can you
faces.
move
Just the
on,
faces are
John
like,
Skywalker?
I mean, y'all pretty much answered the question.
Oh,
I'm just like, I'm just, I'm just like, all right.
but we're not men. We just know what we've
we're
said
not
as,
men.
as black
You are.
mothers. Yeah,
Look, it's a very practical, it's a very practical thing, is it not? You know,
Yeah.
it's not even about the male perspective. It's just a practical thing.
There you go. Okay.
That's all. Just make it a practical thing. You know,
All right.
I'm just presuming you are a caring parent. If you are aware of this, why wouldn't you want your, why not? Hey, heads up, alley oop, that over there. Why wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, that's what you've been doing. Just okay. Hey, just be careful over here. You know, you got it right. Yeah, I got okay because consequences are heavy right here. Like, hey, this there's no practice for this. You know, emphasizing it. You know, and if they're males, right? Especially what they, yeah, they gonna lock in. They gonna lock
Yeah.
in. They're
Yeah.
locking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just on the strength. And my son was dark skinned, dreads, football body. Oh yeah, they was. And then there was a third police officer across the street. I was like, whoa. But that second cop was ready. He was ready. I said,
come
don't
on,
move.
man. Come on. My kids were close
Don't
to 6
move.
feet, wasn't even 13 yet. Both of them.
Don't move. I saw like I could say, don't move. Stay looking forward. Answer all questions. Don't make no sudden movements.
Come on, man.
The
Come
best
on.
thing he did was call me, Mom. I'm getting pulled over. Send me your location
Come on.
right now.
I think that there's just frustration that we have to teach as part of life qualities.
Mm,
Real quick, I just gonna throw some wisdom out real fast to Miss Maggie. Um, I say it respectfully. Um, Teach race, but don't teach race. And more importantly, your love gonna conquer all of it. So if you're teaching your young
mm,
men to be young men, to govern themselves and hold themselves
mm.
accountable, think first, react second, maybe even put reaction third, but think
Mm,
first. You'll be fine. To go even further, regardless of the skin tone, make sure they understand what they come from.
Yeah.
You know, I understand you saying you're a single mom, but still make sure they understand where they come from. Because
Mm,
if they honor mama and father, you know, it might help them govern themselves accordingly when they outside.
man.
Because no
mm.
matter what, you want to respect mom, you want to respect dad. Period. You want to love mom, you want to love dad. Period.
Thank you, Nicole. I know about that. That text talking. I
At
didn't send the
work.
wrong messages to people with talk to.
Oh my gosh. No, but I like what she said though. She says we have a
Yeah.
duty as parents, period,
Yes. You gotta
to
have that
school our
conversation.
kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. We
And I like
appreciate
that.
you. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this podcast, babe. Thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I want to say one thing to add to everything that's being said. Please know and understand. Please know and understand. This is educational and experience based only.
Mm,
Educational and experience based only.
that's
This is
what's
through
up.
trial and error of each and one of us and each and every one of you. Ain't no right way to do
Facts.
this. I don't care
Mm,
who. Ain't no right way to do this. I don't have a manuscript for your child. You don't have one for mine. There's, I can only empathize on certain things that I probably put in place, but outside of that, I can't tell you how you run your. Matter of fact, I don't know how you run your home front. You might be okay with what you say, Mama. Yeah. you know, my shirt might get tight.
The
you
talking back.
you
I'm just
mm,
saying. I'm just saying.
some
Oh,
some
y'all ready to get? I'm
some
like, y'all
parents
ready to?
tolerate that
Mm.
type of disrespect. I don't understand why. Um, but I would have got my head knocked between the refrigerator and a stove had I said certain phrases to my mother. I didn't even think about doing it. Like, are you serious? Now at 17, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like, okay, it's just this has been too long with the beatings and the abuse, and I kind of like pushed back. I thought I was gonna die after that.
Oh, what that one comic said, he said he was getting whipped. He reached and reached out for the belt. Ah.
I never made that mistake again.
Yeah. You
Oh
know,
my goodness.
What's the next question, John?
just to add before you add
Go
go
ahead.
to the next question, John. I just want to say an experience as a young boy. Schools I went to, I used to have to box a lot, fight a lot,
Mm,
uh, and through this unfortunate events throughout half of sixth grade, all of seventh, all of eighth grade. If somebody swings on you, sometimes you're gonna move out of either practice or habit. Um,
Ooh. Ooh.
say that one more time.
if somebody swings on you, you might act out of practice or habit.
Ooh, wait.
Mhm.
I had a situation. I want to say miscommunication between me and my grandmother, and she hit me. She punched me in my chest. The first time, no, I had to check my whole entire self. Then the second time, I caught her hand, and it hurt me like really bad. I cried about it because I felt like I disrespected her when at that point she was chastising me. Yeah, so I cried about it. And I hope that I have never, ever, 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 ever be put in that position ever again. Because I felt really bad. One, she's a woman, she's an elder, and my guardian, and my grandmother. So I felt bad. I felt real bad.
I've had
Yeah, I
that
felt
moment
real
with
bad.
my grandmother. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
to have my grandmother whoop me one time. I felt bad that she had to even do that because I loved her so much. She was like my it girl, and not upsetting her that much. And Nicole, yes, ma'am, it was not considered abuse.
Not at all.
Right.
Well,
Did
I'm
y'all?
definitely gonna say my situation wasn't abuse. I
Mm-hmm.
just started getting taller than everybody, and um, my body was forming. Um, I played a lot of basketball, and I was in the gym a lot. So, you know, if your grandma or your parent shorter than you and you're a male, you might feel like you had an upper hand in some cases, or you may put them in a situation like, damn, he ain't little no more.
Mm.
So
Kathy
I,
and said it.
Kathy said you were smelling yourself. Wait a minute. Hi,
well,
Kathy.
Miss
Kathy said you
Miss
were
Kathy,
smelling yourself.
nah, not when it comes to women. There's too many women in my family, and these women that are in my family, they are very, 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 very good with their hands. I have a great great grandma. She she good with her hands and a lot of tools. I'm just gonna say that, a lot of tools. You can take that for whatever you want to take it for. But
They
she's
reach back
good.
to reparations to give you a beat. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Right.
you would think a switch or a extension cord was bad, but then you find out she was good with tools. You
Oh,
will want a switch
oh
or
my.
Mm.
extension cord
Oh
or her
wow.
hands.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
But Now the situation was just basically I had came in the house a little late, um, but late is late. I ain't excusing it, and it wasn't necessarily a thing of you ain't gonna do nothing to me. Nah, never that. Uh, never that. I have a high level of respect for all women, and I'm gonna say it again. The women in my family know how to throw hands.
Yes,
Believe
we
me,
do.
believe me.
I like how you
What?
do. Yeah, we do.
We do. I,
Oh,
I, the worst thing I could ever make you believe is that I'm harmless.
girl, I like that. The most valuable lesson: time is the most important currency we will ever have. Where you
Yes,
invest your time is where your heart lies. That is that. I think that's the valuable
yes,
lesson right there.
that is. You go, Moesha. Thank you.
It's me,
My
Ocean.
mother.
Just call her Mimi. I'm
Did
sorry.
I? What is how you pronounce it?
Everybody's been
I said
calling
it
her
wrong.
Risha. It's me, Ocean. It's okay. Just call her Mimi. That's my niece.
Okay, thank you, Mimi. I am so sorry for girl, I'm just bad with names.
It's okay.
I called a cutting board one time. It broke and then she was extra mad. You know what?
Yeah, because I got a phone call. A phone call was made after that. Reinforcement showed up.
Because I know they
Oh
came
my.
through tough. They
Well,
came through tough.
it was my uncles. So again, please understand, I no woman in my family.
Yo,
I couldn't find myself to fight. But at that time, then dealing with my uncles,
oh my God.
it would have been a thought process. But we had conversation though. At some point, all men know, they, you know, I still got to look at you as a young man. But if it's blatant disrespect, it might be an
The
issue.
approach would have been
Yeah,
different.
it might have been an issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get
Got a
into this
full clip.
question. Look, since
Yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, got a full clip right here. Lead with love, not fear. Teaching is more
Yes.
effective than preaching. Lead by example. They will do what you say to start, but ultimately they do what they see you do. Be okay with apologizing. Teaching more love is best defense against hate. Um, that your children have their own journeys to explore. You can't rescue them from those paths they choose to take. They will have completely different experiences than you and perhaps draw their own personal conclusions from those conclusions may be completely different than what you believe and you will love them anyways. Okay? Attitude reflects leaderships.
Mm,
Your kids will do
mm,
what you do. Communicate, not just delegate. Okay?
Mm.
mm.
Okay. Um Respect. It goes both ways, and our children deserve our respect just as much as we deserve theirs. Uh, I've learned that being a parent takes patience and God's mercy. Lead by example.
There we
All right.
go. There we go. There
If
we go. You know what? Yeah.
if I could share my number one valuable lesson, or at least the one that I've been learning here for the last couple of couples,
Mm-hmm.
autonomy.
Mm.
Mm,
Autonomy. Letting your kids have autonomy. They are their own people.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids, oh my gosh. I want to say it was Kathy who might have said it. She said that some people parent out of thinking that they're supposed to chase the same ideals, successes that the parents didn't make themselves. Like the parent who wanted to be like a piano player, they pushed their kid into piano,
Mm.
or the parent who wanted their kid to be a football player pushes them into doing football. But the kid is like, that's none of me. I don't want any of that. And I have been learning, especially with this youngest one, she wants to be more adventurous that I really give her credit for. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I need to let her learn, like King Newborn said. Sometimes you gotta let these kids make their mistakes so that they learn how to come back from those mistakes because that's the way that they learn their lesson. I can't stop whatever is going to happen to them. I can't stop it. It's destiny. It's fate. It's going to happen. But that's how they learn their lessons. Y'all understand what I'm saying? My kid is my own kid. My oldest, my boys are their own boys. They have to learn their own lessons. Autonomy. That's one really valuable thing that I've learned.
Okay. I put lead with love, so yeah, not fear. Go ahead. King Newborn.
Mm.
Because he was ready to say something.
I just want to say, respect.
Mm.
Um, respect and know and understand at the time that this child was created, the version of you that created that child, that's ultimately what you're gonna be dealing with. Whatever that energy was that you was in during that time, your habits, your disciplines, your structure, or your non-habits, your non-discipline, your non-structure. Um, please know and understand, it is actually an upload from you to the child. Now, life will be the download. The spiritual journey will be the download. So, no, you're dealing with a portion of yourself. So, respect that much of it. So, when people say, "Man, you just like your mama, you just like your daddy," this is why. You've been here before. Okay, well, look from where you came from. But still know and understand, as we have people chiming in, they're still individuals. Their brain at that particular point in their childhood, all the way up to maybe 12, 13, the brain is searching for all data to make sense of the upload and the download, to bridge the gap, to make it make sense. Period. You can't stop that. You can't stop that. Think about it. A child, no matter what you say, "Hey baby, this how you supposed to walk." The child was cool with that one leg of scooting, then they applied the other leg. Then the brain said, "Hold on, I got function of 2 legs and hands. So I'm crawling. I ain't scooting no more, I'm crawling." Brain decided to download some more information. Let me get this balance together. That's equality. And then when they get to the point to everything they're doing is not cute anymore, you come with discipline. You can't do that to a brain that is unlimited. Stop playing. Stop playing.
I love
That
it.
brain say, "I'm still trying to learn." You say, "What? Don't do it." This outlet. This one right here. This one right
The
here.
one, the one I'm
Don't
about
put
to
my
touch right
finger
here.
in there. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh. Hey, sister.
Come on, man. It's real out here. Peace to the sis. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say respect. Put yourself in the position of listening
Mm.
and remind yourself that at some point, this child will become an adult.
Mm.
That part.
Come on. Come on,
That
man.
part.
Respectfully.
Mm. Thank
Speak from your
you.
circle. Speak from your circle, bro. Speak from
Mm.
your circle.
Yeah,
You better come on.
I love
Man.
it. Oh my God. John, you have anything you want to add?
Love yourself first and always. Damn it.
Mm.
So I understand the culture and the atmosphere that we're in, right?
We gonna talk
And
about
I especially understand how stressful it is to be a parent. So you got to keep it real with yourself all the way through and through. If you do not love you, man, it is going to be a miserable experience parenting, because only through loving yourself will you be able to love that child as you. You will be able to look at that child and understand that, hey, mirror, there I am. What do I
Preach.
need? And if you deprive that child, man, it's no different than you depriving yourself.
Come on, man.
That's the
Mm.
reality, because you got to think on a psychological level what it takes for you to do that to that child, right? Really, to any human being. Let's just be clear about that, right? But it can be very it could be numbed. You could become
Mm.
numb to that, right? And that's what typically happens. But all of that could be avoided if you just really focus on loving yourself. Like, I understand we got these little philosophies and these beliefs, such as the child always comes first. I'm like, practically always. That's a strong word. Always. You know what that word means, right? Oh, okay, right. So I'm just saying, parenting is a practice. It is a practice. And it's not the only thing you can do. But if there are some other things that you're good at, you would have to wonder why I'm not good in this area. Do I love myself enough to do this thing right here? Because this is my offspring, my responsibility. Wouldn't I want it to, wouldn't I want it to
Can
grow? I'm of service, and then maybe one day the child develops and becomes of service to me. Would you look at that? An investment.
There you
Mm.
go.
Cipher.
There you go.
are
So
we going to talk
And
about it?
love
that
yourself.
child is, go ahead.
Love yourself. Just
Mm.
remember always to love yourself as you're
Yes.
loving your child. That's how you invest back in loving yourself.
Come
Mm.
on, man. Come on.
Um,
Come
tonight's
on.
show was great. I don't know if we
Fire.
have to even revisit this topic, but we got to talk about the bad, or do we really, really, really need to discuss that? We'll go backstage and talk about it.
Mm,
Because there's some stuff out there that we are doing as a people that we should not be doing.
okay.
Okay. With that being said,
Attachments.
love yourself. Number one. Yeah, I love you,
Come
Nicole.
on, man.
I want to thank each and every last one of you that left a comment tonight. We really appreciate you tuning in and watching us. Again, we are here every Tuesday. This is things that people don't want to talk about. Brought to you by God Level, John Skywalker, Ivy Tanner, and King Newborn. Aaron was out today. Hope you're feeling well. Sherman was out today. Hope you're feeling well. But hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube, God Level 102. We will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Yes, ma'am.
Peace.